Hi, this is Sandra from freedomsuccesscoaching.com and welcome to another one of my video blogs. Today I want to talk about the 6 ways to become more resilient or to develop more resilience. Now I actually came across this whole resilience thing on a corporate website, and I must admit I don't agree with their definition of resilience and how to go about dealing with it, because to me it's something that is from their approach very, very heady. It's not coming from a heart-centered place. It's not coming from a place of bringing more joy into one's life. It's all about being able to cope with the things that the corporation are going to throw at you because they're giving you more work and there's less of you to do it. So for all you heart-centered business owners out there, resilience still is important to what we do. And any research that I've done out there has always been a bit more to the line of the corporate. So I'm going to compare what the corporate sector, how they deal with resilience, or what they preach to be resilience, and what their workers need to be able to do to be resilient so they can deal with everything they're dishing out to them. And as heart-centered business owners or people who do work in the corporate sector, how you can develop your resilience, maintain your resilience in a way that's more conducive to having a life of ease, a life of joy, and a life of doing what it is that you love. Because really at the end of the day, what on earth is life for if you're not enjoying it? So one of the definitions of resilience is the ability to be able to cope with challenges. So yes, a resilient person does cope with challenges, but it's not just about coping with challenges. It's about turning those challenges into opportunities, turning those challenges into situations that allow you to thrive. It's about taking some control over how you see the challenge and how you want it to work out. And so it's more active, I think, from a law of attraction point of view and from an energetic point of view, more active than just coping with challenges. Another definition is the ability to bounce back from tough times, and that's true. As a business owner, you need to bounce back from tough times because business is complicated. It can be challenging, and the ability to bounce back is important. But it's more than just bouncing back, it's actually about flowing. It's about being able to flow past the obstacles, finding ways to be a bit more in the flow of things, that yin energy of flowing with the obstacles and flowing around the obstacles, even wearing the obstacles down in that very watery sense, rather than just an ability to bounce back. For me, from a more spiritual point of view, and from a heart-centered point of view, it's much more watery than having to bounce back from something that has happened that you feel you have no control over. Being able to perform under pressure. Yes, there is pressure in running a business, and yes, it is important to be able to perform under pressure. However, it still boils back to why are we doing this and how do we do this that allows us to do it with more ease. So it's not just going intellectually, oh, I've got to be able to perform well under pressure. It's about, well, is this pressure necessary? Is there another way to deal with this pressure? In business, we may have the ability to be able to offload and outsource some of the pressures that come to us, which gives us a lot more freedom than perhaps a person has in a job. And then lastly, they say it's to be able to respond well to change. And of course, change is inevitable. Change is change. Change is life. Life is change. So it's a given that change happens. And it's been able to flow with the change in a way that is conducive to ease and outcomes that bring you joy and bring you positivity, rather than dwelling on the challenges and just banging up against those obstacles, but knowing that when you do flow with the change, you can sometimes flow around those obstacles. So here are some of the tips that are recommended to help you become more resilient. The first one is to understand your feelings. Now that is totally true. if feelings are the most important thing to understand. But it's not just understanding how you're feeling now and allowing how you're feeling now. You need to listen to your feelings, because they're telling you that it's not safe. They're telling you that something's wrong. That you need to be aware of what's going on and decide whether you need to change things or not. You need to change your programming, or whether the situation just isn't good for you anymore. But it's also about knowing how you want to feel, so that you can focus on what you're wanting to feel, so that you have some control over the direction of your reality and how things go. So it's more than just knowing how you feel. It's also knowing that you can change how you feel by simply feeling how you want to feel. Second, coming to terms with reality. Well, it's more or less coming to terms with where you are now, but focusing on where you want to be. Because we know from a law of attraction point of view, if you're focusing on reality, you're probably where you don't want to be. And you don't want to be focusing on where you don't want to be. You want to be focusing on where you do want to be, which means you want to be focusing on how you want to feel. So it comes back to the feeling again. How do you want to feel? Okay, you're feeling this way now. That's where you are now. But how do you want to feel? And putting oneself in that mindset of feeling where it is that you want to be. Thirdly, observe and reframe your thoughts. And that's true. Know what you're thinking. You know that negative thinking is going to affect your emotions. Negative thinking is going to affect your reality. So it's important to observe your thoughts, but it's also important to work towards changing them, not just observing them. Observing them doesn't help unless you do something about changing them if the thoughts are not helpful to you. So changing the thoughts, whether that's working with affirmations, EFT, hypnotherapy, those thoughts need to be changed. And the fourth is to problem solve. Problem solving is a very heady thing, and yes, sometimes you do need to be able to think logically through steps. But more importantly, it's again knowing how you want to feel and knowing what you really want the outcome to be. How do you want your business to be like? How do you want your job to be like? And knowing that you have some degree of control over how you feel and how being in the feeling place that you want to be in can actually change the reality around you, so that you can end up having that situation as your reality. Number 5, evaluate how you've gone. So it's not about evaluating how you've gone, it's looking at where you've come from, what you've achieved, and celebrating that success. Celebrating the successes. It's not just evaluating, sitting there and evaluating. Celebrate any tiny little success, any kind of win is important to building resilience. And number 6, to apply what you've learned. So all of your skills in visualization, in emotional freedom technique, meditation, and any other knowledge that you may have, any scholastic knowledge, heady knowledge that you have, applying that knowledge to make it a lot easier for you to be able to achieve what it is that you're wanting to achieve. So that's a comparison between what the corporate sector are recommending to their workers about how to become more resilient and my adaptations to those points, because I really believe that whether you work in a corporation or whether you're a heart-centered business owner, these things are important. It is important to be resilient, but it's how we go about building our resilience and becoming resilient that is important, and knowing that we do have some degree of control over ourselves and over how we feel, most importantly. So I hope those 6 points made sense. I'm Sandra from freedomsuccesscoaching.com, and I'll see you on the next video.